Thornton, we do a fair bit of innovation ourselves. We also, as a consultancy firm, we advise clients on how they can go about their innovation journeys. Probably I'll start with the first, how we look at innovation internally, and then probably when we, bit later, I'll talk about how we advise clients on going through the innovation journeys. So internally, I think the first thing we clearly understand the difference between innovation and continuous improvement. So I think that definition gets a bit fuzzy. So robotic process automation maybe about 10 years back was innovative, but at least now it is standard. So we think of robotic process automation as continuous improvement. We look at AI as probably innovation. And for something to do qualify as innovation, at least the philosophy we use within Grant Thornton is, we need to do something, it has to be something different from what you're doing. So I'll give an example. So we built with the help, with an internal team, an AI-enabled recruitment platform. A fair bit of investment, but we were able to, when we made the business case, and I'm talking on behalf of the Chief Business Officer of GT, who was the sponsor. I mean, there was a very, very clear articulation of the financial savings. We also quantified the time savings. Of course, the idea was not to get rid of people, but just to say that, fine, if I reduce a partner's time by X, if I reduce a consultant's time by Y, what would it mean? So there is absolute rigor in terms of seeking investment. When it comes to investing in innovation, so that's really what we do. We are also doing a fair bit of innovation when it comes to our own services. Can we do audits a bit differently? For example, anomaly detection, which is a core part of our audit offering. Can we use AI? We were doing scripts, but can we look at using AI? I hope I've answered my question.
Yes. Thank you. What about Mr. Joseph?
Well, at least from place where I come from, into pharmaceuticals, innovation for us is more tagging it against the business objectives, right? What is the business need that we have? Is it about redoing everything from a product standpoint, or we're going to have some enhancements or leverage our existing product, right? So we call out the risk to see what are the gaps that we have in our existing product right now. Based on that, we create a story to tell our chief executives, right, to get in the budget, to get in the buy-in, to tell them, okay, what exactly is the product release going to have? So we focus on those missing parts to bring in what value add as part of that innovation that we're going to bring in. So now that actually pushes us to deliver and also to use AI in a way that we get some good amount of statistics, good amount of responsiveness in terms of adoption and speed.
What about Mr. Rajkumar? You did anything in your organization?
So I'll take a different view, because I think I've heard Prasad say continuous improvement and innovation. In CPG and disruptive organization like Reckitt, innovation is key. Without that, we can't even think of the next business value, right? So for us, it's a hybrid thing. We will look at any kind of innovation which brings the maximum disruption, change the ecosystem. How do you gain competitive advantage? At the same time, how do you also constantly and incrementally innovate and build on it, right? So we do have KPIs, we do have controls wherein we constantly measure and tag the value to it. Any initiative that we want to take, how is the business value measured and what impact does it bring? So for us, it's a hybrid approach, but at the same time, how disruptive the idea is, how new and different the whole approach is, and that's how we are given the free hand to innovate.
Okay. Thank you. And Mr. Gaurav, different question I am asking you. And how data-driven decision making with more innovative, less costs. Can you please explain?
All right.
Thank you. Thanks for this opportunity. So I come from Geo Platforms Limited. We do anything and everything at a population scale with 500 million users. So the first question, which was innovation. So innovation is a given, because if you have to do anything at a population scale without using technology, deep tech, AI, we are the first one to also adopt quantum. So, but obviously everything comes at a business value at population scale. For the second question, which was data-driven decision making. So we synthesize a lot of data, and we target based on the user profile. Like if you run Viacom 18, Hotstar, Jio Hotstar, etc. So we target population at a very specific plan based on the data we get. So we have our in-house data algorithms. We run it on top of it, and anything and everything what we do is actually driven by data, because at our scale, knowing the customer, understanding his choices is very important, because a small percentage here and there gives a huge value to us. So for reducing the cost, that's a different ballgame altogether, but at our scale, everything else is driven by data-driven.
Yeah. Data is very important and hard for every company. So we have to take care of the data, like taking backup, keeping in the DR, all the things we have to take care. And Mr. Prasad, you are from one of the best industry in India, Ramoji Group. So how do you tell how the technology play in innovation and cost controlling? Can you please explain?
Yeah, thank you. Generally, technology is a key role for the innovation, and after innovation, any new thing, innovation as well as can reduce the costs, and it's increase the performance or speed of the solutions, whatever. So coming to technology, so many ways are there. Okay, I will discuss a few ways. One is for automation. We can do automation for the sake of any data or entry of the data by the person. It will take maybe 1 hour, but if you do automate the process like RPA or any robotic automated process, so with the help of that one, you can it can be done within minutes, so that it will be, one is it will be accuracy, and it will be speed enough, and it can save the time. That is same manpower you can utilize for the other innovations, and this is for the automation. And apart from this, we can do like AI enabled artificial intelligence also you can apply for the, because you are getting huge data. So with the data insights, you know very well using the artificial intelligence. So with the help of this insights, you may get the good insights, and you can get the decisions to innovative decisions, and as well as speedy process. You can take that one. Apart from this, we can use the AI for the, suppose robotics plus AI for the machines.
Yes.
It will speed up the process. Not only speed up the process, it will like predictive maintenance also easy, because if anything is going down or anything is what is that that system that machine may be going down, then you can know early, and you can clear the issue, and it will be, it's a general in place of general maintenance, it will be easy for the increase the performance of the machines, whatever may be. And anyway, they said as a data driving decisions also can be taken to improve the performance of the innovations, whatever may be.
Yeah. Whatever technology innovation and up to date ourselves, that is bread and butter for us. Every time we have to update ourselves.
Yes, correct.
Okay. And Mr. Prashant, second question. How should organization measures effectiveness in their innovation activities with cost controlling?
Sorry, could you just...
Yeah. How should organizations, offices, measure effectiveness of their innovation activities.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is a bit difficult, and I'm sure my fellow panelists would probably agree. I mean, this is based on what we have seen in other organizations. I mean, typically there is a conflict between innovation,
Yes.
KPIs, which are sort of long-term and intangible, versus immediate short-term financial objectives. Nonetheless, I mean, what we have seen, and I would probably request some of the other panelists also to confirm, validate, is that you have two sets of KPIs. You have some hard KPIs. One is obviously the first thing, each should align with the strategic objectives of the organization. That's first. Then you have some financial objectives like ROI, cost savings, impact on margins. Then you would have KPIs around the market impact. I mean, is market share increasing? Is customer retention improving? I mean, that's one dimension. And you'd also look at innovation output. I mean, how many POCs, how many patents, how many prototypes you've done, how much have got productionized. I mean, so those are probably some of the hard KPIs which are easy to measure, which I think most organizations are doing. But there are some soft KPIs, I think, which probably people are starting to evaluate. Some of the softer aspects are probably cultural alignment. How many employees have actually participated in innovation?
Yes.
What is the extent of cross-collaboration?
Mm-hmm.
We are also looking at some organizations wanting to measure, okay, fine, we've reduced the burden of our employees. I mean, does it look at improving work-life balance? I mean, can we move to a 4-day week?
Mm-hmm.
Has innovation actually helped the society and the community in which we operate? So probably some things that organizations are looking at.
Yeah, good. What about Mr. Joseph?
Well, just to add to Prashant, when we look at leveraging our innovation within our extended teams, what we see today is there are teams which are actually doing good amount of innovations, but it's siloed, right? They're not all coming together, right? Every team is doing their best in innovating, but they're all not brought in together. So what we've seen is over a period of time, there has been duplication of efforts. And that's where the whole essence of what we as an organization thrive to deliver a product get delayed in every phase of its progression. Okay. So if these are the areas where we are able to bring in the stakeholders, all the internal stakeholders, whoever is working on which part of that innovation, to take out the key deliverables out of it. And as one team, if they're able to focus on whatever that their innovation is, then I guess that will be a little speed and which will act as a velocity to bring in the new technology into the market. Thank you.
Okay, Joseph. What about Mr. Rajkumar?
Yeah, I think for us, I mean, we've already burnt our hands many times when we have given free hand to do even mini entrepreneurships, right? When you want to try out a new idea and bring disruptions. I think later we realized that, okay, when we really have to bake in cost control and still do innovations, we have to take a staged approach. And how even in the agile way of working, we have the whole concept of POCs and POVs now coming in, right? So we now have decided to break it down into chunks. So we now start doing concepts called MVPs, minimum viable products.
Okay.
That helps us test waters and bring and check the effectiveness, right? That will also allow us to gauge the value being promised to value being realized on the ground. And then or not do we even have a case in point for the innovation case that is being even driven in the first place. So I think that's a very direct way of how we even track and maintain or even measure effectiveness across the organization in any of the initiatives that we do, not just IT, but even the different type of functional teams that are trying to drive innovations.
Okay, good. What about Mr. Gaurav?
Yeah, I will concur with most of them. So I'll keep it short. There are tangible and intangible benefits.
Okay.
We directly monitor for all algorithms or AI innovations we do, if it's increasing lifetime value, if it's targeting well. See, at our scale, without any technology or AI, so for an example, I'll give you something like we were the first one to onboard people with eKYC in 5 minutes and get a SIM card in 2016-17, and we got 100 million customers in 6 months, which was a record on its own. Now that would not be possible if there was no technology. Obviously there was a cost burn to it, but there was a tangible benefit out of it. There are intangible benefits like if we are able to even impact socially, because if you have to impact hundreds of millions of people, if you are able to impact socially by doing some innovation, we do have MVPs like co-panelists said. So we always have a timeline, time boxing. If it doesn't come out to be like, we don't want to burn out millions of tokens in an LLM world, but we will figure out from the first principles what's the best way possible, not put, you need to find the horses for courses. You should not put in LLM for everything because it does something, but that will burn out everything. So they are first principles thinking, and if nothing, we file for a patent or do something out of it.
Yeah, good. What about Mr. Prasad?
What is this one?
How innovations, effectiveness for their organizations, new innovations.
Yeah,
New innovations.
New innovations. I will tell you an example. Actually, what we have done is last 6 months back. We have used, it's a new innovation means it's like we have used AI, artificial intelligence, for the usage of the subject to answers evaluation purpose. So we have Ramoji Academy of Movies is one of the LMS we have prepared for the producers and the script writers. And in that LMS, what we have is, suppose thousands of students can be read the exam, and 1,000 into 10 questions means 10,000 answers will come from the subject to answers in multiple languages. So here what we have done is we used the AI, artificial intelligence of the model, and evaluate the subject to answers so that we can save the manpower of the professionals to correct the questions, and as well as this was utilized the AI tool to new tool for the evaluation of purpose up to 90-95% is it was evaluated accurately, and this is on live. It's working perfectly.
Okay. Yeah. Now, final question. Nowadays, everyone is optimizing for SaaS, cloud as a SaaS. For example, nowadays, SAP also opting for Rise with SAP on cloud. It's a different hybrid, not a hybrid. It's a public or private. So, Mr. Prashant, how we can opt and all the things happening in cloud? How you define that it is a benefit for the organization, or what is the cost innovative? Choosing as a cloud.
Sorry?
Choosing cloud as a SaaS.
Yeah.
Okay. How we can benefit for the organization for innovation and cost controlling, both the things.
Yeah.
How you define?
Okay. Could someone else take this?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Mr. Gaurav, you can take.
So, as I said, horses for courses. Cloud is for burst traffic. Okay, and when you know the traffic patterns very well, you would probably use something which is more of a fixed asset.
Yeah.
So it depends on what do you want to quickly innovate. So cloud does give you that hyper flexibility of doing something quickly. There are a lot of SaaS services. We use a lot of SaaS services, but then depends on if you want like bite-size solutions or if you're looking at a large-scale solutions. Large-scale solutions, we are definitely going for a hybrid approach, wherein we have something in-house, not run on the cloud. But for burst of traffic, for an example, when we handle IPL and the gamification, etc., we get, let's say, 10 million hits in 20 seconds. Then we need to definitely have an hyperscale cloud which can take that burst traffic. We don't need to run that for more than 3 hours, 4 hours of a match, and then we'll suspend that traffic for the rest of the 18 hours.
Okay.
So horses for courses is what I would say.
Right. What about Mr. Prasad?
Cloud as SaaS applications on the cloud is two ways. One is, as he said, for any but high traffic is there, then we have to go for cloud. And generally what we are doing is for intranet applications, intra-office applications, we are going for the on-prem, and it's a hybrid mode we are going for.
Okay,
So if traffic is a high peak will come, sometimes low peak will come. In that case, we must go for the cloud solutions. And the SaaS applications also, what we have is found, if it is SaaS application can be used for the public means external versus internal, then we have to go for the cloud solutions. If it is only for the intra applications, you can go for private cloud or hybrid mode. That would be better.
Yeah. What about Mr. Rajkumar?
I think it's a very relative question. I think to what I think my fellow panelists have also said, I think it's definitely a case in point when you're trying to measure between volume-based transactions versus also sometimes IP-based transactions.
You mean data size?
Yeah, I mean,
depending on the data size.
Also the size and the scale of the operations, right? To even when it comes to media industry, or even when it comes to pharma industry, or even sometimes when it comes to manufacturing industries like ours, you will have to gauge and understand when it's cost control from an innovation point of view, you're trying to drive the objective. Sometimes just moving to cloud also can be very expensive affair. For example, how we have found it out, we thought, okay, we should just digitize everything, and without even thinking twice, we should just focus on digitization and move everything to the cloud. That did not work in some cases. For example, when you start operating from the cloud and you do not really bite-size your workloads, the cost can spiral like anything without even any control, right? So you really have to understand which parts of the business you're trying to digitize. And if moving to the cloud from a managed perspective to a SaaS perspective is a case that we need to evaluate. Definitely, if your team and your operations are very heavy from an infra perspective, SaaS is the answer, because it will bring down your cost of operations fractionally, and you're only focused on the usage and the licensing. But when it comes to the way in which you run experimentation, you're running R&D, you're running your supply chain decisions, your compliance specific decision making, having that managed infra from a cloud perspective will bring down your overhead, right? So that way you are able to drive in a very fundamental manner how you run the IT or the technology support to these critical business activities from a cost control point of view, right? So I think it's very relative. But yes, I think in most of the cases, moving your workloads and applications to the cloud will definitely bring down the cost if it is managed well, right? In some cases, for example, when we started moving some of the cyber workloads, we had a very complex cyber architecture and it blew up the costs. So in these cases, you will have to really understand how do you design your migration to the cloud and how you even then establish it. Right? So it's a balance.
Good. What about Mr. Joseph?
Well, I'm going to just take the innovation piece when moving to cloud. So one of the things that I have noticed, at least what we've been doing in pharma space, is whenever we move things from on-prem, we're talking about a lot of clinical trials data from on-prem to cloud. Cloud is given good amount of legroom from an innovation standpoint, right? So I don't have to spend like setting up a data center on-prem, paying upfront cost for storage, terabytes of storage and rack and stack of all of these infrastructure and things. With SaaS, moving to cloud, the amount of legroom that we get is we start small and we pay only for what we use. So it's more like pay as you go. So when I move my workloads from on-prem, do good amount of POCs, test it very well, take it data security or identity as a security around cloud, it's easy for me to start small, do good amount of return of investment as well to show the board the amount of saving that we are able to get, plus the security bit. And the cost eventually increases, but when you compare it with the on-prem setup, it's going to give good amount of benefit to the organization when we move all of things to cloud, and cost again becomes efficient there in the long run. Thank you.
Mr. Prashant, I will ask you a special question for you. What are the challenges putting too many restrictions on innovative budget. Yeah, tell me.
So, yeah, the first and foremost, I think some of the creative types of folks probably may get switched off. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think, so that's a very fine line which the organizations need to, I mean, figure out. I don't think, I mean, the answer would probably, there are some practitioners here, I'm sure they can give real life example. That's one. The second one is, I think, choosing the right organizational model. We have seen organizations which have a heavily centralized approach towards innovation, and everything is run from the corporate center. Our own view based on work done with some clients and what we have seen is it's good to start off with the centralized approach, but then you quickly decentralize and let the central team only do the governance. Let the decentralized teams actually do the execution. You can also probably, sorry, I'm not directly answering your question. You can leverage consulting firms, system integrators, startups,
Yes.
government incubators, I mean, to keep costs low.
Yeah. So budgeting is very important for us, IT industry. But what happens now, sometimes uneven expenditure will come to our IT department. So budget is very important and we have to explain to the management and the CFO proper way. Then we will get the proper approvals and all the things. And finally, a couple of questions can be taken from audience. Can you please raise the hand and please ask our speakers. Any questions? Yeah, that gentleman.
Thank you. My name is Mayan. So, what are some of the innovation, when you're doing innovation, what are some of the factors that you consider from a security and compliance standpoint? Because while you're innovating, you're building solutions, how do you integrate that? Because that's equally important.
Okay, yeah. Good question. Mr. Gaurav, can you please explain?
Thank you. So first of all, the data security is very important, but we don't, so whenever we have to productionize some innovation, that is when these checks come into place, at least in our organization. In the last question, we give a free hand for people at least 10 to 20% of their time to innovate and come back, do hackathons and things like that. But when you see that this algorithm or this model is very innovative and which can go to production, that's when the whole compliance and data security come in place. And we have a standard info security compliance and team which looks at what all the data you are passing through where. If it's PII data, what are you doing with it? You should mask it. There are standards for it. If it's some other kind of customer data, then what are you doing with it? You just pass the model rather than passing the raw data. So there are a lot of things which comes into play before anything which gets productionized. But innovation and productionization is a little longer cycle. It's not that you do a hackathon today and tomorrow it's in production.
Yeah, please.
Okay, I think to your question, how do you also take or factor security and compliance while you still don't lose track of your innovation agenda, right? I think I'll take an example of how we thought about this when it came to some of the R&D labs innovation as well as some of the factory and manufacturing innovation. So we really wanted to be very agile when it came to cyber resilience. So the traditional way of building the security layers and also being compliant in the way we operate did not work. So we really had to think through how do we do things differently to prevent the next attack. That will not only stop and bring down the production lines, but also we are cyber resilient and building something very sustainable for the future, and at the same time having a very robust digital footprint, right? So we then started exploring a lot of this industry 4.0, IoT frameworks, and the ways in which we can also digitize some of the lab operations, the R&D activity,
Yes.
taking into account how is it also cyber compliant? How is it also in line with the different type of regulations that is applicable to any pharma industry or consumer goods industries or even banking industries, right? So I think those things have to go hand in hand when you're trying to do a disruptive way of running your operations, at the same time building the modern architecture. So that's how we thought we can bake it in, not losing track of the security and compliance aspects, which was key, how we want to do. So that in fact triggered the way in which we wanted to do things differently, in a modern way, right? I hope it answers.
Yeah. Is
Also,
it okay
just
for
to-
you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. Thank you.
Just to add on to
Mr.
them,
Joseph, yes.
the only thing is bring security into the picture as soon as possible. What happens today is there's some great business opportunities where innovations are really good, right? But security is involved at the end for a formal approval. And that's where we are missing a lot of compliance checks. And then that is where organization feels the pain that now security becomes a blocker for innovations. No, we want to be part of the day one of your innovation cycle.
Yeah.
So that we can help you with the standards, the framework, the standard framework, which might also help in the long run as well. So security being involved at the day one will actually, enable the innovation and take it further. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, security by design is something that everybody is now to focus. Since we were talking about the cost, I think that also incur a cost from the beginning that you have to factor. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And any questions? And my question to my speakers, how generative AI will be innovation to our organizations? Mr. Rajkumar?
Oh, I mean, it's impacting by leaps and bounds. I mean, there are different, in fact, lots of use cases. The way we automate different report generation, to the way in which it can also start giving prescriptive use cases to field agents, to how does it also help boost productivity within the organization, like how Copilot is now getting integrated to the different workplaces, right? So, lot. I think it's a completely underexplored territory. I think any direction, any dimension you see, there is some or the other use case that is coming in these days. I think it's all about, again, exploring that automation or that productivity use case that will bring value, right?
Yeah.
It's not just for the sake of doing it. Rather, it should actually minimize the total turnaround time, or it should actually minimize the way in which the user is spending time on doing certain operations. It can be anything, right? I mean, so Gen AI is definitely causing disruptions in a positive way. I think we are still at a very initial stage of how it can even penetrate the different type of activities. Obviously, the next evolution is agents.
Yeah, correct.
We are all exploring that, but maybe other panelists can add.
Yeah. Mr. Joseph? Mr. Gaurav, please.
So it actually has boosted a lot of productivity. If you look at software development, there are tools and things available in design. All of these guys in my team have access to all of that. So it has definitely improved at least 70 to 80% of our productivity. From the software principles, everything is getting ADR shift left, of quality shift left, of information security principles. From the customer perspective, if you look at it, all our bots which are run on MyGeo or cross-sell, upsell bots are all now using generative AI, agentic AI. Again, there is first principles thinking on security, on prompt injection attacks and all of that. So that's being taken care, but still it's an evolving situation, how these generative AI models work, because we are all learning from it. But if you look at it, I agree with co-panelists, we are going into a world where agentic AI will do a lot of things. Our customers care call center are all powered by agentic AI if you call them up. So there are a lot of things which are empowering for the organization on the bottom line as well as on the top line. And there's a definite productivity improvement.
Yeah. Thank you. Good answer. What about Mr. Joseph?
What we have noticed is over a period of time, AI helped us to automate a lot of repetitive tasks.
Yes, correct.
Right? And with that automation, what we were able to achieve is take out more of the manpower and take them towards the actual things that matters to the organization from an innovation standpoint. So when we're able to free up highly skilled employees who are actually doing the same mundane job, we're able to focus that particular resources into good amount of innovation by bringing in AI into perspective.
Good, good. Thank you. Mr. Prashant.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, I mean, so we do a fair bit of innovation for our own services, especially Gen AI.
Yeah.
I probably I would not be able to speak much for, but tax advisory is something that Grant Thornton is well known for. And we are, in fact, using Gen AI, which will help us figure out what position we took on a particular subject 3 years back.
Okay, okay, good.
Which was probably not possible.
Ah, right.
Yeah. Pre-Gen AI, in the pre-Gen AI world. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
But-
yeah, in our own, I know in the dull, boring accounting and audit world, I think we are trying to do our bit.
Yes, yes. What about Mr. Prasad?
Generative AI is using from the administration team to the developers, all they are using for the administration team, they are using for the mailing solutions. And majorly they are using for mailing solutions for the entire group. And secondly, as co-panelist tell, for the programming side, so programming team mostly using the Gen AI tools, and they are developing the code, and they are using that code, and they are enhancing the other options if there. So these two purposes mainly using for organizations.
Yeah, yeah. Now world is running on Gen AI, and it is much in development stage. Definitely it will rule the world. Okay. And any questions, please? Yeah, actually, very much thankful to Enterprise IT World giving this opportunity, and thank you very much all.